Hello, I'm Deanne Criswell, the Administrator for FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. I want to thank you for taking the time to view this emergency preparedness video for tribal leadership and tribal employees, and I want to thank you for your leadership. One of my goals as FEMA Administrator is to ensure equitable emergency management efforts that address our nation's vulnerable and historically disenfranchised populations, including sovereign tribal nations. We are continuously working to engage with Indian country before, during, and after disasters to make sure FEMA programs are addressing tribal needs. However, all disasters start and end locally, and many disasters will never rise to the level where the federal government gets involved in response or recovery. That is why it is crucial to have an understanding of your emergency management responsibilities within your tribal government.
Anin, Gije Banang, Indigenous Cause. I'm Stacy Thunder.
Bozu, Awan Indigaz, Monty Frank Indigo, Tribal Emergency Management, Makwadudum.
Tribal leadership has an important duty in preparing for emergencies and disasters. We are honored today to help you understand your roles and responsibilities in tribal emergency preparedness as tribal leaders and program managers new to emergency preparedness. The safety and security of the people you serve is a top priority. For the next 20 minutes, you will learn about some of the issues that arise during an emergency incident or event that may occur on or near your reservation, pueblo, rancheria, or village. You will gain useful information on all hazard planning, interoperability, and using the unified command system. We will introduce plans that will explain procedures to prepare and provide a safe environment for your community.
Please know you are not alone in developing and maintaining an effective tribal emergency preparedness program. Your tribal emergency manager coordinates with tribal fire, EMS, law enforcement, public health, human services, medical, and environmental protection departments. It takes a whole community effort.
As one of the over 570 federally recognized tribal governments in the United States, you may not have all the resources necessary for an effective emergency preparedness program. Establishing working relationships with federal, state, and local governments may be necessary due to fee status, border issues, or the locations of tribal lands held in trust. Assistance after an emergency or disaster has occurred and may come in many forms, from physical resources like cots and shelters, bottled water, food and generators, human resources such as public health nurses, behavioral health care providers, or financial assistance.
Our mission is to improve the health status of American Indians and Alaska Natives by identification and understanding of health risks and inequities, strengthening public health capacity, and assisting in disease prevention and control. Tribal epidemiology centers, funded in part by the Indian Health Service, are 12 unique centers serving American Indian and Alaska Native people throughout what is now the United States. Through providing a link to health data, supporting quality data analysis, culturally appropriate health information and technical assistance resulting in tribal communities gaining greater knowledge, empowerment, and influence over their own health care and wellness. The Great Lakes Intertribal Epidemiology Center serves the 34 nations and 4 urban Indian areas in the upper Midwest with their public health efforts.
As a tribal leader or program director, your strong leadership is key into raising the importance of individual and community readiness that supports a comprehensive tribal emergency preparedness program. Individual and community preparedness are essential in order to protect the people, natural resources, and infrastructure of your tribal community. Good planning now can decrease fear, reduce losses, and speed recovery efforts. So let's get started.
What are the risks your tribal communities face? What hazards exist in or around your tribal lands? The answer is different from reservation to villages, from pueblos to rancherias. They also depend on which part of the country your tribal community calls home. or if you follow Public Law 280 or are a closed reservation.
The risks and hazards our tribal communities face are not all created by nature. Some are created by people.
The Ready Indian Country section of ready.gov provides tips and tools for emergency preparedness that address specific areas of interest to Native Americans and Alaska Natives.
Well, in Indian country, there's 565 tribes in the United States, and a lot of them have different disasters that they may encounter.
Preparedness, I think, in Indian country is something that has always been within our culture and our lifestyle. We've always been prepared for the different seasons. We've always understood how we're going to survive based upon the environment that's around us.
It is absolutely everybody's responsibility to be prepared for an event occurring in their community. It's important to know how you're going to handle that situation, how you're going to be able to take care of yourself, your family, and then your community.
In 2007, we had over 65-mile-an-hour winds that swept through our reservation, burning more than 94% of it completely to the ground and putting a number of our tribal members into a situation where they had no homes anymore.
We were told to evacuate and we had 1 hour. And you go back to your house and you think, what am I going to take?
I never thought in my entire life that my grandmother would go homeless, my uncle would go homeless, and I'd see all my family fending to rebuild our community again. But those things happen.
The best thing that individuals can do for themselves is to ensure that they're prepared at home and to get involved in their community. They can volunteer at any emergency response activities that are taking place, and just making sure that they know what procedures the tribes have in place and that they know what the response plans are.
We have monthly trainings. Everybody's invited. It don't matter whether you come from the reservation or not. In the event of the big disaster, we're in the same boat.
No agency has the resources to take care of everyone simultaneously. It's a collaboration of tribal governments, tribal agencies, tribal emergency response, with American Red Cross, with the state, local governments, with FEMA, all working our plans together so that we can support each other with the resources we have.
I think the best way to look at being prepared is to look at it more as a lifestyle. You should live your life, not in fear, but being aware that you should at any time be able to pick up a bag and go out the door if you need to, or shelter in place for any significant amount of time. It's important for people to have a kit and to have a communications plan with a family member outside of the local area so that all of their family members can make contact to one person and everyone knows that each other is safe.
A standard emergency kit includes water, food, and medicine to sustain all members of your household for at least 3 days. Visit ready.gov for a complete list of suggested items, along with recommendations for how to prepare a family emergency plan.
Disaster preparedness is not a one-time event. You always have to be prepared because you don't know when it's going to hit you.
Indian people in the reservations, when something happens, everybody pulls together. It doesn't matter who your neighbor is, and you might not have talked to them for 30 years. Well, something happens, everybody's given food, they're given clothes, they're given shelter, they're given, everybody gives. It's 100% when disaster happens.
And I think that's one of the reasons that we're able to sustain ourselves is because of the fact that we take care of one another.
If a tribal community and their lands are destroyed by a disaster of any kind, it's not like the tribal community can go somewhere else and rebuild their sacred sites. I think that's what makes emergency management in Indian country imperative. This is our homeland, and so we have to protect it and be prepared for that.
Check out the information at Ready Indian Country on ready.gov and get started preparing today.
Anytime a large group of Native people gather, whether at a powwow or another cultural event, there is a risk that an emergency will happen. There are 2 types of situations a tribal community may encounter: an incident or an event. An incident generally provides little to no forewarning. A tornado, an explosion, or a train derailment are characterized as incidents. An event is something that is foreseen or predetermined: slowly rising floodwaters after several days of rainfall, a pandemic, or a scheduled annual powwow that brings a large group of people together on a set date and place. All of these are examples of events.
Knowing the risks that may occur in or around our tribal communities is the first step in being able to manage response, and recovery from any disaster or emergency. Even if an incident has not happened in a long time, we need to be prepared. Tribal emergency managers can identify risk and preparedness gaps by completing a THIRA, or a Threat and Hazard Identification and Risk Assessment, and an SPR, or Stakeholder Preparedness Review.
As a tribal leader or program manager, you will need to ensure that your tribal community has the plans and unified command system to ensure access to grants, training and response resources from local, regional, state, and federal resources. The creation of your Tribal Emergency Operations Plan, or EOP, for your community is your starting place. The plan outlines the necessary level of preparedness and incident management activities necessary for your community. The EOP will list your tribal government structure and the roles, responsibilities, policies, and procedures for providing response and recovery services. It will also describe how decisions regarding specific hazards are made for long-term prevention and mitigation. The plan has to be flexible enough to use in all events, large and small. A complete plan includes the purpose, organization, and assignment of responsibilities for events. It also includes information on administration, logistics, plan maintenance, and a reference guide. Finally, the plan should contain jurisdictional or functional appendices describing other duties and responsibilities, as well as a glossary. A Continuity of Operations Plan, or COOP, also needs serious consideration. This plan will ensure that your tribal government continues to operate when an incident or an event affects the ability of your leaders to assemble. Because incidents occur with little or no warning, first responders may need resources and people moved quickly. Not getting the approval of tribal leadership during the early stages of an incident may cost lives and lead to property damage. Your Tribal Hazard Mitigation Plan describes actions that will be taken to reduce or eliminate risk to human life and property. Information from past events will be used to make decisions prior to, during, and after an incident. The mitigation planning process encourages cooperation among tribal leaders and other tribal members, local residents, governmental agencies, businesses, academia, and nonprofit groups. They provide guidance to the plan development and implementation. The use of this community approach supports and reflects the need of the whole tribal community.
In some cases, your tribal government has combined planning efforts with local government agencies. A local plan can include the response capabilities of the tribe and reflect the mutual support as well. The whole community's response to a catastrophic incident can be represented in one single plan.
The Incident Command System, or ICS, is essential to an effective response and recovery operation. The adoption by tribal resolution of the National Incident Management System, or NIMS, ensures that all elements of tribal emergency management and public health preparations are carried out in a unified manner. During major events and incidents on federal trust or fee lands, multi-jurisdictions may have to respond and work together to resolve the issues. Fire, EMS, public health, and police from various jurisdictions need to be able to communicate with each other at the scene, as well as ensure a common operating picture. Tribal public information officers need to provide information on a unified manner to avoid confusion. The Unified Command System for Tribal Governments is TERC, the Tribal Emergency Response Committee. If preparing for an event, this group of tribal professionals plan and coordinate their roles. This interaction addresses several questions. What action should be taken if there is severe weather, such as storms or extreme temperatures? Who has the authority to cancel an activity? Are tribal fire, EMS, police, and emergency management pre-positioned or on standby? Is the area accessible for tribal EMS personnel for easy entry and exit? Is there a capability to communicate quickly, should there be a need? Preparing ahead of time can ensure safety of all those who participate.
The TERC does not have to be assembled for every emergency, such as a minor traffic accident or kitchen fire. But when the incident is major, like a tornado, large hazardous materials spill, or major flooding, then the TERC's assistance may be essential for response and recovery. The TERC should have a designated facility for staff to assemble for planning and response. This is identified as the Emergency Operations Center, or EOC. It may be located in a tribal government facility, or it may be located in another local jurisdiction facility, such as a state, a regional, or county EOC. Many state and county EOCs have provided a space for a tribal liaison to operate when an incident occurs in their jurisdiction.
From the EOC, the incident commander who is on the scene can coordinate with other response professionals in providing necessary resources. The communications equipment, charts, directives, and collaboration between disciplines and jurisdictions all contribute to the response and recovery operations. The incident commanders rely on the support of the Turk for resources they need to bring the situation under control. You may be the person who determines which officials in your administration will serve on your Turk. It should include staff from the following departments: Tribal Emergency Management, Fire, EMS, Law Enforcement, Public Works, Housing, Natural Resources, Public Health, Human Services, Education, and the Tribal Public Information Officer. When your Tribal Emergency Response Committee is activated, your unified command decisions will ensure a well-coordinated response, improved communications, and coordination among all participants at all levels of government. This enhances understanding and facilitates collaboration among agencies that leads to a safer response. When tribal facilities can be shared, tribal staff and resources can be used more efficiently because duplication is minimized, tribal response costs are reduced, and your community members are provided more accurate and timely information.
To manage the incident on tribal land, your Turk should follow the 5 golden rules of unified command. No agency's authority is compromised or neglected. There is one incident action plan for the entire response. All Turk members and liaisons speak only for their department or agency. Public information statements are made with a single voice. Tribal facilities are shared to manage an incident.
It may be helpful to incorporate community lifelines within your planning for response and recovery. Lifelines are the most fundamental services in community that, when stabilized, enable all other aspects of society to function. These include safety and security, water, food, shelter, health and medical, energy, communications, transportation, and hazardous material. FEMA created community lifelines to better understand and communicate incident impacts using plain language and color-coded graphics to ensure your community can recover more quickly from an incident.
Occasionally, the severity of an incident may require involvement by the Bureau of Indian Affairs or the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and the EPA to ensure your tribe can recover from a catastrophic event. FEMA primarily uses 2 programs to aid in disaster recovery: the Public Assistance Program for damaged tribal infrastructure and the Individual Assistance Program that provides aid to individual members and households. As a tribal leader, you have the authority to request these programs and decide to work directly with FEMA or through the State Emergency Management Agency to administer these programs. If you have questions, your regional FEMA tribal liaison will be able to guide you through the process. There are FEMA tribal liaisons for each region in Indian Country. Many state and local jurisdictions also have tribal liaisons in their emergency management agencies. The BIA, FEMA, or state tribal liaison may be part of the response when a federally declared disaster affects your reservation, rancheria, pueblo, or village.
Tribal liaisons are important resources who can answer questions and provide technical assistance for responding to a disaster. They serve as the informational gateways to state or federal programs and provide information on funding opportunities that can support disaster mitigation and emergency planning. Tribal liaisons can be contacted through the federal agency, a state's Department of Emergency Management, or through the Federal Emergency Management and BIA. You can also contact the IHS area office for health events in your area.
We are thankful that you have taken the time to watch this video and learn about some of your responsibilities as a tribal leader or program director. We just opened the door to your role in emergency preparedness. We hope to never experience an incident or event, but we cannot predict the future. We can use the knowledge we have gained from our elders to prepare for and protect our lands and people. You do not shoulder the responsibility alone. All Native people have a role in emergency preparedness. We all share this responsibility to keep each other safe and protect this home we call Mother Earth. Miigwech.